You aren't crazy for thinking the world feels fake. In fact, you're in good company with some of the smartest people on the planet. Look at your hand right now. It looks solid, it feels real, but physics tells us your hand is mostly empty space. If you removed all the empty space from the atoms that make up every human on Earth, the entire global population would fit inside the volume of a single sugar cube. We live in a world governed by mathematics. Everything from the spiral of a galaxy to the pattern on a sunflower follows specific numerical ratios. Why does the universe follow the language of code? If the universe is written in math, it's not a huge leap to suggest the universe is itself a computation. In 2003, Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom published a paper that turned physics and philosophy upside down. He argued that at least one of three propositions must be true. Either humans go extinct before reaching a post-human stage, or humans reach that stage but have no interest in running simulations of their ancestors, or we are almost certainly living in a simulation right now. Think about the pace of technology. 50 years ago, we had Pong, two white rectangles and a dot. It was primitive. Today, we have hyper-realistic virtual reality. We have photorealistic games that simulate physics, lighting, and complex AI behaviors. If you extrapolate that progress over just another 1,000 years, or even a million, the capability to create a simulation indistinguishable from reality becomes inevitable. If a civilization can create one simulation, they can likely create millions. Statistically, there would be one base reality and billions of simulated ones. The odds that you are in the one base reality are billions to one. Elon Musk famously brought this into the mainstream in 2016. He argued that the odds of us living in base reality are 1 in billions. He claimed that if you assume any rate of improvement in gaming technology, games will eventually become indistinguishable from reality. Even if the speed of progress drops by 1,000%, we still arrive there eventually. It isn't just a thought experiment. Physicists are looking for the glitches. If this is a simulation, it has to have limitations. Computers have finite processing power. They have to render things as you look at them. This sounds remarkably like the observer effect in quantum mechanics. In the famous double-slit experiment, particles act differently depending on whether they are being observed. When they aren't being watched, they behave like waves of probability. When a conscious observer tracks them, they collapse into a single position. It's exactly how a video game engine works. To save processing power, the game only renders what the player is looking at. Everything else remains as potential code until you turn your head to see it. Even the speed of light could be interpreted as a system limit. It is the universal speed limit. Nothing in the universe can travel faster than light. In computing terms, this looks like the maximum refresh rate or the latency limit of the hardware. If the universe is a grid, there is a limit to how fast information can propagate across that grid. Some researchers, like Sylvester James Gates, have even claimed to find error-correcting codes embedded in the equations of string theory. These are the same types of codes used in browsers and search engines to fix data corruption. He found what looked like binary code, zeros and ones, hiding inside the fundamental math of our reality. But why would we be simulated? Maybe we are an experiment to see how civilizations evolve under specific conditions. Maybe we are a historical archive, a digital museum of our ancestors. Or maybe the simulation is running to solve a specific problem that the base reality can't compute on its own. The feeling of déjà vu is often cited as a glitch in the matrix. It's that eerie sensation that you've lived this exact moment before. Scientists call it a minor neural misfire, where the brain processes a current event into long-term memory before the conscious mind registers it. But in the context of a simulation, it feels like a recursive loop, like a line of code being executed twice. Consider the Mandela effect. Large groups of people remembering history differently than how it is recorded. People remembering the Berenstain Bears spelled with an E. People remembering Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 80s. Could these be collective memory shifts caused by patches or updates to the simulation? We have to consider the scale. The observable universe is 93 billion light-years across. It contains 2 trillion galaxies. That is a massive amount of data to render, but a simulation doesn't need to render every atom in every galaxy at once. It only needs to render the parts that are being interacted with. The rest can exist as compressed data, waiting to be unpacked. If you were a character inside a video game, would you be able to tell? You'd be made of the game's code. You'd perceive the game's physics as absolute law. You'd never have a point of reference outside the game to compare it to. You would assume your life was natural because you have no access to the developer's console. This leads to a terrifying, yet strangely liberating conclusion. If we are in a simulation, then life is entirely artificial. But if we are in a simulation, the consciousness you feel, the pain, the love, the curiosity, is still a genuine experience within the system. Your input matters. The data you generate is real, even if the medium is digital. Perhaps the simulation is a test, or perhaps it's just a game someone is playing in a room we can't see, in a dimension we can't comprehend. Maybe one day, we will be the ones with the power to build a universe of our own. We might be the ancestors currently building the simulation that our own descendants will live in. So, the next time you feel like the world is a bit too scripted, or that the coincidences are lining up a little too perfectly, stop and take a breath. You are part of a complex, layered, and incredibly sophisticated system. Whether this is a biological miracle or a line of elegant code, you are here. You are observing. You are part of the process. And if you are living in a simulation, the most important question isn't how it was built or who is watching. The real question is what you choose to do while the program is still running.